So in this video I just wanted to talk briefly about coppicing. Coppicing is a method of sort of sustainable woodland management, and you're basically cutting different varieties or species of trees to the base and then promoting new shoot growth. Now this can be done on an annual basis or in a rotation, so you might do it every couple of years depending on what species that you're coppicing. So here we have willow, and this is willow for basket making, which means I need new straight shoots each year. So they're cut annually and they're cut during the dormant season. So I cut them all to the base between November and February, and then the new shoots will regrow for the rest of the season, and then I'll do the same thing again next year. So I just want to show you how I coppice. So basically you can see here, this is the base of the original cutting. A cutting was put into the ground about 10 years ago, and the cutting was probably about a foot long, something like that. So I planted that in the ground, and then the following year I might have got one or two small rods, and then I cut those down. And over 10 years, you can see here, this is the base of the willow coppice. So each year then I come in here, now depending on the thickness of the shoots, I might use a loppers, and I'll cut it to the base. I'll cut all of the shoots down, because for basket making you don't want branching stems or branches, so you want them all to be straight, a single stem. So that's basically a little bit on coppicing willow. Now other species that can be coppiced would include hazel, ash, sycamore, and I'm trying to think what else, but those ones would be coppiced. And again, they wouldn't necessarily be coppiced annually, because you might want the stems to grow a little bit thicker. So depending on what you're using it for, if you're using it for firewood, you might let it go a little bit longer. Or something like willow, what you would do, the way willow grows with it, the shoots all come up from the base, that you might cut a certain amount of the tree out, the branches out each year, so that would allow the rest of them to grow on a little bit. And we'll look at the hazel. I have some hazel coppice as well down below, so we'll look at that at the next video. So again, for tools then, I just have a Felco secateurs, I have a loppers, and then for something with when the stems get a little bit thicker, I just have a small handsaw. So either of those can be used depending on the thickness of the branch. But again, just to remember that you do it during the dormant season, and depending on the species you'll have, you'll either do it annually, biannually, or you might do it every 4 to 5 years. But just a little bit on willow coppicing. And again, for basket making, I have a couple of different varieties. So this is a purple one, which you might use just to add a bit of colour into the baskets. And in here you can see I have a green, and I also have a yellow, and there's some red varieties. So lots of different ones to choose for, but the main thing is in the management that they have to be cut back annually.